I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert in footballs. I'm not an expert in football measurements.
I don't want anyone rubbing them, putting in the air in them, taking the air out. To me, those balls are perfect, and that's what I expect when I show up.
I can't show it on the football. It's so goddamn hard about holding on to it.
Introducing Mike Cash Collins and Scott Staggs Simpson as the Fantasy Millionaires.
Here's Allen trying to go deep to Davis. Herbert under pressure, trying to get rid of it. That's Eckler to the 5. Touchdown. Taysom Hill with his 4th touchdown of the day. Week 5, bro. Week 5. Woo! I'm Cash. He's Stacks. Stacks, I want to start out with an apology that I didn't have Taysom Hill as my elevate tight end last week. I went Evan Ingram, 6 for 69 yards, not 112 rushing yards, 3 TDs, and 22 passing yards and a TD. So apologize to all the fellow millionaires out there.
You messed that up, man. How dare you?
I went Evan Ingram last week.
But that's not the whole story. In real life, though, you went heavy bone with Taysom Hill on all your teams, though. Like, you actually, in real life, you went and grabbed Taysom Hill everywhere, and you started him in our league. You're going to win this week because of it. So I got to say, shrewd move, man. Really well played with the Taysom. We can't always see it, in hindsight, but you got him everywhere. So.
Can I tell you something I want to talk about, in the little BS warm-up portion of the show? I know you're aware of it, and I doubt they're probably, they might be aware of you. I don't know if they're aware of the Fantasy Millionaires, but Fantasy Receipts is hot right now on Twitter, and I've been waiting to talk to you about it because we have not talked about it. I love Fantasy Receipts. I think it's awesome, and there's a lot of people in their feelings. Like, they've been blocked by like big names already. So I wanted to Fantasy Receipts. Evan Ingram, good call, streaming tight end. But I'll tell you what, it honestly bothered me this week that we said to pick up Taysom Hill week 1, right? Yeah, we haven't talked about him again. We didn't talk about him last week. But I did pick up Taysom Hill, and I started him in multiple leagues, and I started him against the influence of the fantasy community, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much groupthink here. It's just, there's so much groupthink, and it really bothered me. Like, it bothered me today when I was thinking about it. Why is someone like Taysom Hill even available in leagues? Obviously he's going to be featured on The Wire in the coming segment of The Wire. Taysom Hill's, but he shouldn't have been on The Wire. Right. I mean, it's not like this is the first time he's ever done this. I mean, he already did it in week 1. I mean, he was on The Wire after a week 1 show. And so it really bothered me. And then, I don't know, I just spent a lot of time on Twitter today, and I was going down like Fantasy Receipts Twitter holes, and I just think it's a cool account. So and I saw another thing that was interesting. They've already there's already a spin-off account. Mm-hmm. It's like Fantasy Victory Laps. So I hope that account does well too. Except that account has no posts. It's just starting, so we'll see.
You know what? I'll say this. I've been in a couple DM groups where people have been upset and I'm not going to name any names or, put anybody out there, but the rationale was attacking my friends or people that I'm close with, or, they're going after different people, and look who they're targeting, only specifically these groups are not going after whatever. Right. And there's always bias in any of these things. And I'm sure that the person who runs the account does know most of us in the littler sphere of Twitter, and that they were inspired by that milieu that they're in. Right. And so I'm not for or against. I did reach out to them immediately, and I just asked them, why did you follow me? I wanted to know. They followed me, right? So I gave them the litmus test. Why did you follow me? And they said that I was a cool guy. Now I said, okay, good answer. You win. You know what I mean? They're like, you're good people. And I was like, all right, and I said, hey, I got takes. Expose me, please. And I gave them a few myself. So I'm not against being exposed. And there is some bias, of course, with anybody exposing anybody. But eventually I think this will take root, and it'll be a fun account that people can kind of not block, because we all say things and do things and need to be held accountable. I just think the glibness of it too is pretty funny too.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. And take your L's, bro. Take your L's.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, come on. Take your L's.
Yeah.
I saw one today, and this was one of the things that sent me down the rabbit hole. Like, it had already come on my radar, because the account's like 12 days old, and they already have 4,000 followers or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just taking off.
Dave Richard loves them. Dave Richard is all about them, by the way. He liked them, followed them, was like, I love it, man. Because they went after Dave, and Dave's like, yeah, that take sucked. Good call. Could call me out. How you should do it. Way to go, Dave.
And you want to know why too? And this is the thing. Like, I was talking with somebody the other night, about Matthew Berry. And they were like, I don't even think he's that great of an analyst. He's more just like entertainment. And I was like, I don't agree.
I disagree now too.
Yeah, no. And here's why I don't agree. And this is what I think makes him a good analyst. I don't think he's like, when you find certain people that are just like cutting edge and like giving you all this data and then they're hitting on their data. Like, there's people out there, like, to me, Ian Hartitz is like the pinnacle, like I think he's just one of the best analysts. We both love Sal Vetri. Sal's wrong a lot. Everybody is. I think one of the things that makes Matthew Berry really good, he's careful. He doesn't he kind of stays behind the line, and then he makes his big calls. This is why I was talking about with the person, was because of your tweet that Matthew Berry. You want to play this? This is my co-host got famous on Matthew Berry's show.
Well, I'll just say that it was an honor, and I appreciate Matthew for sharing this. I did think of him, though, right away during that game, because it was such an awful game on Thursday night between the Broncos and the Colts. Awfully amazing, but awful in just what we expected it to be. And so here's the clip. I kind of started it halfway through. It's not he kind of dapped up Scott Hansen. He's talking about Wade Phillips, I think defensive coordinator for Texans, Broncos, Cowboys, a bunch of different teams. So here's what he says.
At Son of Bun, the great Wade Phillips, legendary coach. I think both teams should consider punting on first down. They'd have probably screwed that one up. That was Wade. Scott Simpson at Nimble with numbers. I just decided that whoever finishes last in my home league has to rewatch this game as our league punishment. I feel like that's cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, league punishments need to be cruel, but like also fun. Like, that's just not fun for everyone. Like, I would enjoy watching you be forced to get a tattoo, or that's so much worse.
I know. Forced to get a tattoo. I love that. So, but that's the cool thing. Matthew Berry, though, segueing back what you said, you're right. He makes his start sits, his love hates, what he calls them, right? With great title, by the way, love hate, and sometimes he's wrong. Just like you and me are wrong. And,
yes.
And I think it is indicative of human nature to tear down people when they're wrong, to elevate yourself when you're right. And particularly when you hate other people who are doing it well, people get a lot of haterade thrown at them, like you're saying, Matthew Berry. So he's not even that good. Man, some of the things he said this year, I've listened to him. He was all over Jalen Hurts. He loved Jalen Hurts.
All over Jalen Hurts.
All over Jalen Hurts' business. He called him a league winner, right? On NBC. I watched it right there on Sunday Night Football in America. That guy made his claim. He said it. And I agreed. I agree. I was like, yes, what a good call. A great call. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I do think that we all make our claims, and fantasy receipts, I think it's a good thing, even though maybe
I think it's such a good thing. Take your L's, take them.
Take them.
You know, and that's why, honestly, I hope fantasy victory laps takes off too. You know, like, you know, I mean,
and
if
Bo can stop touting himself all the time and let somebody else tout.
It's gonna be all Bo user submission tweets.
Man, that guy is unbelievable. He gets let me tell you this. This is an inside baseball story for Bo. We're in DM groups. He shares with me, and then in other DM groups that there's a guy who added him to his like experts list. Yeah, you get lists on Twitter. And he's like, bro, there's only 9 people in this group. I'm in the fantasy experts group this guy added on. And I love it. But like Bo does need a platform just to post his W's, because he's got so many W's that he gives them to you and it's annoying. So someone else needs to give you Bo's W's, honestly.
Well, I mean, that's why I think both of those things are cool. Now, like I said, that the fantasy victory laps literally has, I don't know, I was like the 36th follower. Bo was following him.
Bo probably is, but Bo is them. Let's just be honest. Between you and me, it's Bo McBrayer, right? So if he starts,
I just think both things are good. You know what I mean? Like,
who's going to start an account? Fantasy receipts.
That's what sent me down the rabbit hole though today is that it was the first time I saw fantasy receipts they got chumped by somebody. And you were like involved in
I retweeted the chumping.
Yeah, because like they tried to make fun of his Melvin Gordon take. And and if you watch the back and forth between them, fantasy receipts got in their feelings a little bit. Like they were like, what kind of world is it? Where you're gonna, defend your position based on a season-ending injury. And homeboy that was arguing with them that, was an analyst that they were calling out, Noah, somebody or other. Yeah. He was like, it was a tweet about what would happen if Javonte Williams got injured. Like they cut that part of the tweet out. That's dirty, bro. Come on. That somebody got to pull the receipt on fantasy receipts. Like you can't reach, bro. Like,
yeah, it's interesting. People grasp.
They don't need to. They don't need to, because that's what's good about what they're doing is like, we all have to take L's, dude. Like nobody has the sports book almanac from Back to the Future 2. Like we're like
I'm trying to buy
you're gonna take L's.
It's hard to
Who thought DJ Moore was gonna look, like this through 5 weeks?
I mean, Geno Smith. I mean, who saw freaking Geno Smith?
Who saw Geno Smith? Who saw Geno Smith? And that's why I love fantasy receipts, because like they had like Evan Silva on there talking about like, I don't want Kenneth Walker and blah blah blah. And it's like, and that's why I think people need, that's why I think people like Matthew Berry are, at the top. Like, you gotta be careful about what you say, man, because you're out here to guide people. And people listen to their analysts.
Right. Well, listen, we're not always right. Like, I'll be honest. It's a good transition point, because I like how we're getting, and we're going to jump into trades to get paid. And there's a lot of Jets in here. And I'm going to talk about somebody who I was, it was a buy low last week for me. And maybe I was wrong. And maybe I should be selling low. It's your guy, Elijah Moore. I like Elijah Moore a lot. And I do see the value he has. You saw it last year when he exploded. But just in this offense, he is not being showcased. He is the 3rd or 4th option, if that. And so he has the skill set still. He's so great. All the things we saw in him are there. If he gets the ball in his hands, he's able to make plays. He's just not being targeted. He's not getting the ball in his hands. So with that being said, I can say I'm wrong about Elijah Moore. I've got pro Elijah Moore tweets that are out there that I'm not going to delete, that you can go find. And so with that being said, I do like the idea, though, of people being held accountable for what they say. And you know what? I didn't tout many people, though. It wasn't like I touted 18 different guys. I touted Elijah Moore. I thought he had a real sleeper talent. I drafted him on a lot of teams, too. That's the thing I'll say. The guys I tout, Mike Williams, T. Higgins this year, I drafted them. They're on my teams, right? Jalen Hurts, I have them on my team. That's how I do it. I'm not disingenuous. honestly. Let's jump in here. You've got all the Jets for sale this week. It is just a Jets smorgasbord. We're going to dedicate the top row. We'll go all Jets, Jets, Jets for Mike, and then we'll get down into my picks down below. But let's start with your buy high. Breece Hall, man, he should have had 2 more touchdowns. Let's just be honest. Dude should have had 2 more touchdowns yesterday. I don't know. Michael Carter is like the vulture all of a sudden.
I know it's frustrating, but
Very.
It doesn't matter as a weapon. And honestly, it's hard to come up with buy highs. I think Breece Hall is potentially going to be tough to get, based on just what he looks like on the field. I think he's going to be it'd be a tough acquisition because it's not like he wasn't drafted high as well. He was going 4th, 5th round and spot on. Like he's worth every penny of that draft capital. And so, it's going to be a tough scenario where, you just have to hope that, this guy, whoever is in your league that you're trading with, has enough depth at the position where you could, and is missing like a top end wide receiver. I mean, I'm in our main home league. I'm like that, I'm good at running back, but I'm so weak at wide receiver, and maybe you could get Breece Hall, but it's going to be tough.
Flip 2 for 1, maybe. Here's something that I was thinking too about Breece Hall. The Jets seem to, at least when it comes to Zach Wilson, they seem to be more running back focused, just with the whole offense in general, than they are downfield. They're more in front of them, and maybe that'll change as the season goes on. But for right now, I do think Breece Hall has a lot of value, and maybe you're hoping that the Breece Hall drafted him in the 3rd, 4th round, lost a couple games and is desperate, kind of needs a win, and maybe can get a couple players. You give him 2 for 1 deal. I think you can take 2 players to get old Breece out of somebody's hands. You're not going to get him out with just one, because maybe it's a high end wide receiver, but I don't know. I think this is a top option every week. You're going to plug and play him RB2 moving forward, honestly. So I could be wrong, by the way. You can expose me on fancy receipts when that happens. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Buy high on him, and then buy low on Garrett Wilson. I mean, that's why Elijah Moore is a sell low. It stinks. Stinks that you spent 7th round draft capital on Elijah Moore, and he's just not the most talented wide receiver on that team.
I did not draft him this year, by the way. I have no Elijah Moore. So,
well, I mean, a lot of people did, because he was.
I learned last year, so
he was just so good the second half of 2021, and I'm not saying he won't have decent weeks here or there if something happens to Garrett Wilson. I think he will have big games. But I think the addition of Breece Hall just really changes that whole offense. And I think the offense is going to really start to just flow through him. And then Garrett Wilson is just, he really is elite. He's the better weapon on that team. And again, that's sell high on Michael Carter. This is a week to do it, because if Breece Hall hadn't got stopped at the half-foot line on that amazing run, you take Michael Carter has an 11-point week, right? Like, he has a nice big week because he gets those 2 1-yarders.
Right.
So Michael Carter, also a beast. Yeah, it's just the rookies are better in this offense. Like, they drafted these guys and made good choices. Like, these guys are really good. So Elijah Moore is he's sell low or cut him.
He's
bro.
he's DFS fodder now. He's going to be one of those guys who does get 2 touchdowns and goes, for 120 yards, but you cannot rely on him. He is totally
He's already sub 5 in DraftKings.
Yeah, he should be like 4.2, but he'll be like 4.8. But anyway,
yeah, he'll be like right around 5.
Yeah. My buy high is Amari Cooper, and you know what? He's right now wide receiver 27. He had a big game last week, right? He scored over 20 points, which is, it's exactly what you want to see if you're a manager. And that's with Jacoby Brissett, right? But he does have these games where he disappears. So Atlanta 1 for 4, 1.9 points. First game against Carolina 3 for 6, 4.7 points. And then the other games 25, 23, 20. That's exactly what I want to see out of him. And soon Deshaun Watson's coming back. Like he has an opportunity to be a top 15 wide receiver. Just 2 years ago, we were drafting Amari Cooper before CD Lamb. You know what I mean? Like that. It was a different time. And then CD Lamb kind of surpassed him last year and got moved out of Dallas. But in the Cleveland offense, nobody else matters, right? You've got Nick Chubb, you've got Kareem Hunt, you've got David Njoku, and then as your wide receiver 1, you've got Amari Cooper. And that's a great team. They don't even need Peoples-Jones. Like he's there, you can send him on the fly route and clear out the safeties and stuff. But like I just really love Amari Cooper. And I'm going to be betting over backwards to try to get him. So I think you should. This is my Salvetri. Trade for these 9 guys. Trade for this one guy. Right?
I agree.
So
yeah. I there's some type of muscle memory with Amari Cooper, from the Raiders to the Cowboys and now to what we thought would be the lowly Browns.
Lackluster Browns. Yeah, we thought that.
Yeah. And it's just like, don't fade this dude, man. He
makes them not lackluster now. He's better than Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, come on.
He gets wide open too. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like Jacoby Brissett, just like he doesn't even have to make these amazing throws. Like he just tosses them the ball because he's open.
Yeah. No, I'm a big buyer. I'm going to be buying everywhere. Somebody who I'm on a buy low on right now is Terry McLaurin. I mean, he is just a forgotten man in Carson Wentz's offense, and I don't think this is going to be indicative of the rest of the season. And I know I'm a home team guy. I'm Washington football in the vicinity of it, but I'm not a fan. But I just know Terry McLaurin is such a great route runner. I've seen the Matt Harmon, reception stuff. The reception perception, it's ridiculous, right? And I think the issue, though, is Wentz. It's the offensive line. It's him being able to, make the right reads, make the right choices at times. And so it'll get there, I think, for them. And also their defense is terrible. And they're going to be losing games. They're 1-4. So I think that Terry McLaurin does have value. And somebody probably did draft him high, which is unfortunate. But they might be looking to sell and get out from under him. So maybe you can flip him for maybe your 6th or 7th round pick that might be surging at this point. So what do you think about Terry McLaurin? And if you don't want McLaurin, last week I talked about trading for Curtis Samuel because he was down. Are you in just want to get De'Ami Brown off the waiver wire? Are you approaching any of these Washington wide receivers?
No, I don't. I mean, De'Ami Brown, nice week, but Jahan Dotson will come back and he will be irrelevant again. So, I think he's relevant for as long as Jahan Dotson is out.
True.
But yeah, man, I'm not buying low on Scary Terry, and I was touting him, pre-draft, as all the things that you said. I mean, my thought on it is just I don't know what it is, but quarterbacks and wide receivers need to have chemistry, and it just doesn't look like Wentz and Terry McLaurin have that chemistry. So, I wish I had him in the BFFs. I would sell him. I would sell him to you.
Well, you know what? I'll buy because I think eventually they'll figure it out because he figured it out with Heineke and he figured it out with who was before Heineke? Was it Michelin or? I mean, his name
Alex Smith.
Yeah, I mean, whoever, he'll figure it out. All right, here's my sell high, and this is controversial because I draft him everywhere, and I love him, right? I love him so much. And right now, let's just look and see. I've got my data and my stats up here. Let me go check and see where Mike Williams is ranked in the wide receiver pantheon. Where do you think he's at? Do you think he's a top 10 wide receiver right now?
Mike Williams is, top 10.
Top 10, okay. All right, I'm going to go check and see. Survey says he's 8th overall.
Right.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's got 88 points so far. I like what I've seen so far in Mike Williams. He's got a lot of targets, right? He's got 44. Now, for him, that's a lot. He had 13 targets last game. But eventually, Keenan Allen is going to come back. So what I might do is I might hold on to him for another week, right? Let him get another big performance. And then I might be looking to move him as Keenan Allen gets closer to coming back. Because even though they do have chemistry, I do think once Keenan Allen gets in there, he's just going to eat into him. He's going to eat into him. And then
how about Mike? This is who you could get Breece Hall for. Mike Williams for Breece Hall.
Yes.
Would you do it? If you have Mike Williams, would you take Breece Hall for him?
If I needed, if I needed a running back, I would do that. Yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that you're going to have to give up something like that to get Breece Hall.
Of course.
And I do think that Mike Williams could get you somebody in that ballpark.
In that RB. Yeah, I mean, he's got the leverage right now. And I think he does have a good rest of the year. I just don't think, and maybe it changes, but I don't think that he's averaging, he's averaging around 17 points per game. That's kind of what he averaged last year. So it's not like he's even averaging that much more. He's got some big boon. You know what I mean? I think he averaged
so much boom. So much boom. Like, and I'm 100% in agreement with you here. It would be hard to sell high. But I do think that Keenan Allen coming back does change things. Like, make sure you get somebody Breece Hall or better for the trade.
Right.
Obviously, he'd be a hard person to trade. But I'm down with the sell high. Here's my issue with him is the boom bust. If Keenan Allen is coming back in the next week or two, I mean, he's so boom or bust. And then meanwhile Keenan Allen is like your favorite guy. Like he's just like
boom bust now. 3 points, 8.5 points are 2 of the games he's had this year. Those are busts. Right. Those are right. If you're number 1 wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver gets you 3 points, that's not good, right? I think Breece Hall does not have. This is what it is. If you're in the Mike Williams business, you have a volatile asset that could go boom or bust each week. And if you're in the Breece Hall business, you're about to have a stabilized asset that you're going to have every week that probably is going to get you about 12 to 20 points, right? So it's kind of what you need in your build and how you're looking to kind of move out the rest of the season. Mike Williams will have games that gets 35 points and wins you your week. So that's just the truth. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. He said, I don't think people would sell Breece for Big Mike. My man Brandon Lane. We met my guy Brandon over at the bar at the DoubleTree. We were having some food and some hamburgers at the last day of the Fantasy Expo. That was dope. He got to meet Denny Carter. We big fans of Denny here on the show. So, all right, last guy, and we'll get out of here. DJ Moore. Right, he's a big name. He went over 12 points. Yay! He got some points. He's got some sell.
Versus the Niners.
Yeah, versus the Niners. Right. So, and the coach just got fired too. So, it could be
breaking news. Matt Rule done. Going to get $848,000 a month for the next 48 months.
He's been ruled out. And
what did you say?
I said he's been ruled out.
He's been ruled out. Yeah.
He's been ruled out. Yeah. Sorry. I don't like puns, but that was just low hanging fruit. So get DJ Moore. Get DJ Moore. Sell him low. Sell. You don't know what's going to happen with that offense. But Baker Mayfield remains the quarterback. Is terrible times for him. So
he's injured too. So
I hope
if we got PJ Walker up in that mug.
What happened to Sam Darnold? Is he dead?
He's still injured.
Oh, geez, Sam, come on, buddy, come back. All right, well, let's transition here. We're gonna roll into The Wire, one of our favorite segments here. And the way we do it is we all, if different guys, we're gonna advocate, tell you some of them we're gonna say yay, some of them we're gonna say nay. That's just how it goes. But Most of them are yays. And we're going to go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, some defenses, get you into elevate, mitigate, eviscerate, DFS stacks of cash, 3 tweets, and then you can go back to your families. So, all right, let's talk Geno Smith. He was here last week. We told you to get him last week. We didn't even change the graphic. It's how lazy I was. He's still doing it again. How can this guy not be picked up in your leagues? He's still available, though.
Dude. Yeah, fantasy receipts. Since I never tweet, you have to listen to the show to get my receipts. I said mitigate Geno Smith last week. I was right on every other person. I said Tyler Algier, mitigate, DJ Moore versus the Niners. I mean, 12 points. I don't know.
That's mitigate.
Yeah, it's not great. Will Dissly, 4 points.
Mitigate.
But I did say mitigate Geno Smith. Never again. Never again. Never again.
Yeah.
He's the man. He is the man, and he's still on your waiver wire. We said last week to pick him up, and you didn't. You didn't pick him up. He's still out there. You can go get Geno Smith, dude.
It's wild.
And yeah, man, if you went late round QB, punt QB, dude. Break and your team's bomb. Break the budget on this guy, dude. Get him.
Yeah. The next guy, I thought I'd do this. I find all my pictures on Getty Images, by the way. So each one tells a story. This is a prayer meeting that Carson Wentz is holding crotch level. That's where you're at here. Sell me on Carson Wentz again because we dropped him last week. We mitigated.
I didn't drop him.
We mitigated him. Yeah, we didn't eviscerate him. You're right. I didn't drop him.
Yeah, I would have been. I would have been saying he was my gold stack, so I would not have said to mitigate him last week. That might have been a stacks call because. I had him.
A couple weeks ago, we mitigated him. We got.
Dude, here's the thing with Carson Wentz. I'll give you the cheat code. Okay. Good defensive line. Don't start him.
Right.
Anything under that, he's good. He's good.
That's what you said last week. Yes, I'm just talking in general. He's not. The reason he's on the wire is because he's available. You know what I mean? Like
if you're in a standard,
PPR league.
Yeah, if you're just in a standard 6 points per touchdown league, not heavy bonuses, Carson Wentz is probably 8 right now in your league. Last week, for passing leaders,
he's
second
4th
in passing yards.
Yeah,
behind Josh Allen, 359 passing yards. I mean.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's 9th in points.
That's what I'm saying. It just depends on those little things that leagues give.
Actually, he's 4th.
It just depends. It depends.
It's jumping around. That's why it was DraftKings.
That's what I'm saying. Some leagues have bonuses for this and that, but he's top 10, right?
Yeah,
and
he is. He's might
be ahead of Kyler Murray, probably. You know what I mean? So Carson Wentz, I just think again,
matchup dependent.
People hate him.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody hates him. People in this area already hate him.
They do. They do.
But meanwhile, he's tossing up 300-yard games anytime he's not playing like Dallas or the Eagles. He's throwing pretty bombs to different wide receivers.
Oh, the bombs to De'Ami Brown, man, they look great. The only better bombs were by Geno Smith. You know what I mean? So, in the breadbasket and the fingertip catches and stuff, it was great football until the end when Carson Wentz, threw the interception. I heard from EB on the Junkies this morning. He was kind of the solo man, blaming the coach Rivera for even wasting the timeouts, not having a running situation down there, all these different things. But in general, Carson Wentz will get you what you need fantasy wise, and then he'll
play the Bears this week too.
Right, it's the Bears, right? And we saw what Justin Jefferson just did. So that was. Oh, by the way, that was my my number one stack was Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson last week. So you are welcome. But anyway, Joshua Kelly. Austin Eckler can't score all of the points, right? the Chargers are right now funneling through the running back position, Mike Williams, and then the tight end gets a little bit of gristle too. So I think Joshua Kelly is a good pickup this week. Where do you see, how much fab would you spend on JK here? What would you go for?
It's at this point, I'm not
$9, maybe $8, something like that.
You know me, man. I'll go heavy on fab. Here's the thing about Joshua Kelly is, I might go in the mid-teens if I have a lot of fab.
If you need to get a running back too, maybe.
If I need to get a running back. Here's the thing, like he's kind of like people have been sleeping on that offense as well. Like he's the Jamal Williams, he's not the goal line vulture that Jamal Williams is, but like
he did get a goal line touchdown.
That backfield is split up, man. If Awesome Eckler wasn't so freaking awesome, he's just scampering into the you have Sony Michel factoring into that offense as well.
If you add Josh Kelly and Sony Michel up, then they both have 23 carries. But Joshua Kelly has 104 yards to Sony Michel's 58. Cut that dude and make Josh Kelly the number 2 back full time, and they'd be better off.
Yeah, well, that's why I just think he's worth a stash because like he could plug in as a flex play week to week,
matchup dependent too.
Yeah, especially if they're killing it. Like this one, I would say elevate Josh Kelly. When they're facing a bottom rung team and they get up like 30 points, like you could get those garbage time Joshua Kelly points. And then if anything happens to Austin Eckler, like he'll be the primary back. So
yeah. No, you're selling me. All right, we've got a little bit of a cult situation here, right? So Jonathan Taylor dealing with the ankle sprain, and then we have Nyheim Hines with the concussion. Did not look good when he was hit. And so Philip Lindsay, Deion Jackson, who are you going to go after? And tell me how much you're going to fab it. So I'm kidding. I'm not going to pick him up in our home league. But which one are you leaning? If you are,
people are saying Philip Lindsay. I'm Deion Jackson. I'm Team Deion, and I just this is probably like a 1 week play here.
Yeah, not very long, right?
Yeah, I'm not spending a lot of fab. It's single digits,
maybe 6.
But yeah. But I think Deion is he seems to me to be the one that I think has the bigger upside out of the two. So I'll take him, for week 6 if I need him. But either one, they're about the same,
Yeah.
One's gonna have 3 more points than the other one. So
they both had so they had 4 receptions, and Jackson turned into 29 yards, and they had 4 targets, 4 receptions for Jackson, 3 for Lindsay. Lindsay only turned into 14 yards, and they both had 3.9 and 3.6 yards per carry. So it wasn't great either way. But if you put them together, maybe one of them has value. I can't believe I'm doing this, man. I'm the guy who put Tevin Coleman on here. This is crazy because
Mike Shanahan loves some Tevin Coleman.
He loves Tevin Coleman. He was like, "Is Tevin Coleman available?" I don't like that guy. I've never let go of him in one of my first early leagues, so I actually have Tevin Coleman in Dynasty. He's on the team here, right? We've got no TDP. You've got no Elijah Mitchell. Jeff Wilson's there, but they need more people to run the football. They just can't give it to Debo enough, and so Tevin Coleman, very consistent. You know what he can do. He caught 2 touchdowns, or he got touched, maybe ran for 1, caught 1. He was there. He was where he's supposed to be. What do you think? Is it just 1 week wonder, done, not going to happen again, or is there a role for him moving forward?
I don't think there's a role moving forward. There's so many backs on that team. As soon as TDP comes back, he's done. So I'm not going after him.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that too. But if he is on your waiver wire for free, if you can pick him up on like a Thursday, or when you get afterwards, maybe you guys open it up. I'm not sure how people do their waiver wires, but Bo, it is very ugly here on the waiver wire. You should not be waiver wiring
This is what happens by week 6. This is what your waiver wire looks like.
Yeah, but I will say Bo's going to love the next part of the waiver wire because his boy Shakir is all over this part of the waiver wire, and wide receivers are much more sexy. Anyway, look at Bo. TDP out for a long while. Oh, snap. Coleman might be the play. Yeah, he is a shanty back. He's a shanty back. Oh, man. That's just gross. But congrats. Tip of the hat.
Well, I wish Bo was on the show because he was telling me Michael Gallup was going to be out till like December. So,
okay, so
I heard TDP has a high ankle sprain. So it's been 3 weeks since that ankle sprain. So
you're hoping to check back in.
I need more intel. I need more intel.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll tell you, Bo's intel on Shakir was great, and once he played him against me, Bo, I'm not gonna lie against you. I started putting him in all my lineups too. So thank you for that. That helped me win a little bit more money because I saw you doing it against me. And like any smart person, you don't fade intelligence, you steal it.
Khalil Shakir is the pickup of the week here on the wire. That's the guy.
Yeah,
that's the guy to go after.
That's the guy. But
him and Geno Smith.
Yeah. That's not good there. Bo's giving you medical advice, Mike. Check your high ankle sprain. We got to get the fantasy doc in here now, whoever that is claiming to be now. I do think Shakir is the pickup of the week for sure. I also like that even though Zappy is, a rookie, he's allowed to throw the football, and Jacoby Myers is allowed to catch the football, and he's getting touchdowns. After never getting touchdowns, he's getting touchdowns. What do we do? Jacoby Myers is available in leagues, people. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if he's out there, I would say Jacoby Myers is, I'm not expecting him to be out there in a lot of 12-man leagues, but in 10-man leagues, yeah, he probably is out there. So, go. I'm thinking Khalil Shakir is the pickup of the week because I'm thinking 12-man leagues. But Jacoby Myers is the pickup for sure.
10-man. Yeah. Well, if you can't get those guys, and if you're smart, league mates like Bo have already stolen them because that's what they do. Alec Pierce might be available. And then for De'Ami Brown, he is just a rent and play, just like Deion Jackson or Philip Lindsay. I mean, they're gross. You're not, same with Darius Slayton. And Josh Reynolds, I did realize that the Lions are going on a bye, but I still think there's value in him. Maybe wait until he comes off the bye. Out of these,
he has been getting a ton of targets.
He's been getting targeted a bunch, and you need someone besides Amon-Ra St. Brown. Shark, I mean, maybe he'll be back after the break, but out of these 4 wide receivers over the next 2 weeks, who do you want to have? Slayton kind of popped a little bit, came back to being a go-to wide receiver in the offense like he did 2 years ago. Pierce, he popped as well. How are you approaching?
I think I'll take Pierce. I think I'll take Pierce just because, I think the upside is biggest with him. Just based on what I saw in that last game. Matt Ryan doesn't look like this. Looks like his last NFL season, and it looks like it looks like the kind of balls he's able to throw are balls in Alex Pierce's route tree. So I'll take Alec Pierce out of all of those guys.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. I like that. All right, we got a few more friends here, and these are our tight end brethren. Man,
Taysom Hill is the pickup of the week, bro. All right, that's my pickup of the week. How much will you spend? You can't get Taysom Hill in any league you're in with me because I've got him. Okay, but let's say you can get him. Scotty Stack Simpson. How much are you willing to spend on Taysom Hill?
$33.
That's it.
That's you think it should go higher? What do you think?
I personally, I'll break my whole bank on Taysom Hill.
Ooh, you'll go to town underground, huh?
I'll go to town underground. Yeah, I will.
Yeah, Bo's calling it. He's calling you. He fancy receipts it right now. Hold on. I'm gonna screen grab. Mike Collins is saying this. Taysom Hill. Yeah, it's the exact moment. All right, I got the screen grab. Putting it on fantasy receipts.
Sure, man. Sure. Yeah. He'll have
Duds.
Yeah, he might have, he might have 8-point games or something like that. Maybe he has a 2-point game, but then he's going to have 30-point games, and you're going to win. You're going to win your matchup because your tight end got you 30 points.
Yeah.
And you're getting him off the waiver wire.
It's gross.
I mean, break your bank, dude.
Yeah.
Like, unless you have Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews, Taysom Hill could guarantee you victory. I mean, that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. But
no, not useless the moment Jameis is back, because we saw in week 1 they like to use him in the wildcat formation in the red zone. So don't agree.
Disagree. All right, fantasy receipts. You're gonna have to sell this. All right, I like it. I'm gonna not spend all my fab on him, but you're a notorious fab guy, so I like to kind of keep my fab a little bit. But I'm going to go a little higher than if I'm in a league with you, obviously. All right, let's talk. Who would you rather have, Noah Fant or Hayden Hurst? With no T. Higgins, right? You saw the offense shifted. It was not very dynamic, but Hayden Hurst against his old team. Look at this touchdown he's stretching out for. I loved it. It looked really, like he could actually be something. What do you think about him returning to Baltimore? Just a blip on the radar, or is it something that's going to be trending?
I do think that I'll take out of Noah Fant, Evan Ingram, Hayden Hurst. I'll take Hayden Hurst. But that offense just looks totally different without T. Higgins on the field.
You need a Higgins.
Yeah, man.
Burrow said I can't go downfield. Like with the way they were running it and the offensive personnel that the Bengals had, they could not. T. Higgins changes the game.
And their offensive line is just garbage, dude.
Yeah, they were talking about how they're not gelled together yet last night on the broadcast, and you could just see they didn't know their assignments, the gaps. I played offensive line. I was a guard. I'm a big fat guy, right? The way it worked is you had your gap. And on pass protection, you had to either push people towards the center, or you had to push them out towards the tackle, or stand your ground, whatever it was that you kind of push back. You couldn't just turn and let people go by you. Like you had to be a little bridge in that little wall. No one got by you, And if 2 guys went by you, you try to take one guy out and push him towards the other guy, So you didn't see any of that happening. And I think as professionals, easier said than done, but still not a good situation. So Hayden Hurst might just be the option for now because they got short little routes he can go on and turn and hit it. It's the Tyler Higbee effect, like Bo was talking about in the game for the Rams, just having no time to throw the football at all. Okay, season long. Let's see if we can get that bet trending right there. Hurts over Hill easily.
Hurst over Hill.
Ingram over Hill. And I love it. Oh, so many fantasy receipts. That's so great. All right. Defensive wise, Carolina just lost their coach, which probably is a good thing.
Every time Bo has made his stake on someone on the show, he's been wrong thus far. So we'll see if he's right.
If he's right, it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited.
Ingram over Taysom Hill. Okay. Hayden Hurst over Taysom Hill. I'll take that action.
Okay, it's hot. It's alive. It's $1,000 Fantasy Millionaires bet with a guest bidder on the phone.
Yeah.
Carolina and the Colts, before we get over to Elevate, Mitigate, and Eviscerate, what are you thinking here? Which one would you rather have? Both of them kind of have terrible quarterbacks, but their defenses are good, and they're keeping them in the game.
Carolina's defense, again, different defenses score it different. Carolina's defense continues to kind of do its thing. And then you have the Colts. Shaquille Leonard is coming back any moment, and that changes the whole outlook for that defense.
They haven't been terrible. They kind of stopped Patrick Mahomes and company at home.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like they were supposed to be really good, and so they're probably on the wire because they've had some letdown games. I think
Radiohead.
I think I'll take the Colts once they get Shaquille Leonard back. I think that's just going to make that. It's just a huge upgrade.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like that. All right, let's jump to Elevate, Mitigate, Eviscerate. Pat myself on the back with my Kirk Cousins call last week real quick. Don't want to hurt myself. Oh, I strained my back. I cracked it. Feels good. All right, Kirk Cousins this week against Miami. It's a plus matchup, boys and girls. It is a plus matchup. Justin Jefferson is different. And then you also have KJ Osborne. You've got an aging but still very capable Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, Alexander Madison, and you got like double touchdown, triple touchdown threat almost any game. Oh my gosh, looking so good out there, Dalvin Cook. So I think Kirk Cousins, he's not on prime time, right? We checked. It's not prime time. Whew. All right, it's main slate. Okay, we're good.
Main slate, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk. He's the best. I love him.
Versus the second worst. I mean, only the Lions are giving up more points at this position. I'll take Kirk Cousins. It's a juicy matchup.
It's so juicy. Yeah.
Take him.
You don't know what's going to happen. I'm sorry,
take him off your bench. Put him. I would say start him over Geno Smith this week.
Yeah, I elevated him last week. He was my number one stack. So I'm going to agree with you, though, this week to double stack him again, which I might have to do in DFS Stacks of Cash next. So stick around. That's foreshadowing, though. All right, Melvin Gordon. Speaking of fantasy receipts.
Fantasy receipts.
Everybody's got a piece of somebody, which I like. Melvin Gordon now does stand to be a viable RB2, RB3 each week for the rest of the season. And whether you like it or not, I think he is – he's going to be holding the football a little tighter and maybe not running as crazily, but he's not going to fumble. You see him running with the football like this, He doesn't want to lose his job. He wants to keep his job right now. And I think he just does have a floor. His upside is not huge, but I trust him. I mean, he's somebody who he's going to get you 18 points. That's where you're probably going to max out. And that's all you kind of need, hopefully, from him. You drafted him later on. If you got Devontae, hopefully you got Melvin Gordon too, and you did handcuff that situation because you knew there'd be a pretty much 40-60 time split there. So now you got probably a 60 or 65 to 35 split.
They do like Mike Boone. And he's going to factor in. But here's the thing. This is why I think this week it's just, automatic lock and load Melvin Gordon. They're playing the Chargers.
Yeah.
Playing the Chargers.
Oh man, the Chargers and their run defense are notorious. Last week, my DFS call of the week, put that on the posting your W's, whatever the new account is.
Yeah,
Victory laps. Yeah. Well, I'm not trying to share this. Sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. Victory lap. Victory like that for me. I gotta say, man, I can't believe Raheem Mostert. I drafted Chase in so many leagues, and not so many, like two. I drafted Mostert in one, though. I'm excited about that. Maybe two. I've got him in a couple dynasty leagues. But Raheem Mostert is the starting running back for the Miami Dolphins. There's just no question about it. There's not even like a timeshare. Like, he is the starting running back, and he gets the goal line carries. He gets all the carries. Man, I'm so glad that we did not totally fade him, though, this year. And he's your boy. So I'll let you do a little, talk about why you want to elevate him.
Raheem Mostert has emerged as the more talented running back. Father Time has not descended upon his body quite yet. And this guy, ever since he got to be the lead back in San Francisco, when he's on the football field, he's dangerous,
He's really cool.
Dude,
6.3 yards per carry, bro. I mean, this is Nick Chubb levels right here.
Right. And I think, Miami is going to have to, keep their running backs involved until Tua gets back on the field.
For sure.
So Raheem Mostert's definitely in a position to benefit from that.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to DJ Moore. Well, we talked about trying to trade for him. You can buy low. Tell me about you're elevating him this week.
DJ Moore is, he's got a juicy matchup. Playing the Rams. Who knew the Rams are going to be one of the worst cover defenses in the league? I just think that this matchup is set up for him to maybe finally, get a 20-point fantasy performance. And I think if you've had DJ Moore, took you a few weeks, but if you were like me and many other people I've seen in leagues, you started benching him week 4. I was seeing DJ Moore on benches. I put him on the bench. Put him on the bench this past week. I'm taking him off the bench, and I'm putting him in. I'm plugging him in versus the Rams. I just think that this is a juicy matchup. Now you have the shakeup with the coach, and maybe Baker Mayfield was in a walking boot afterwards. Maybe we see some PJ Walker. It doesn't really matter to me either way. I think he's going to benefit, but if we see PJ Walker in there, this could be even juicier.
Yeah. No, it is. Speaking of juicy, Noah Fant only had 5 targets last week, 3 receptions, 60 yards, 9-point, 10-point range. Talk about though what you see in this week's matchup for him.
I see the Arizona Cardinals, and I see Noah Fant trending in the right direction. He's continuing to garner looks and be what he was supposed to be. I mean, I had no Noah Fant anywhere. I mean, I just thought like I had no this year. I got Tyler Lockett because somebody dropped him. Yeah. I had no DK Metcalf. I didn't want anything to do with that offense. It was like them and the Browns that I was just like, I would have took Nick Chubb if I was in the right draft position. But besides that, I was like, I don't want anything to do with either one. Wrong on both those teams. Those teams doing really well. And I mean, the Seahawks, they are an offensive juggernaut. So, I mean, just a fantasy beauty. And I think Noah Fant is just continuing to trend in the right direction as, becoming the tight end 1 on that team, and the matchup is good.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting to see in real time for sure. And I like it. All right, Patriots defense, they look really good. Shutout last week. Oh man, the Lions came crashing back to earth on the home. On a road game against the Patriots in New England. You knew that Bill Belichick was going to run the football all over them, and that's what he did. I mean, he just lit them up. Ramondre Stevenson, particularly after the Damian Harris injury, he went in for over 100 yards. It was just great. It was just great to see exactly what we thought was going to happen. The defense played well, and no golf last week. I'm not sure if we said to elevate him. I think we did. That might have been a bad play, but I did not play him. Unfortunately, I played Russ Wilson.
Yeah, Jared Goff was in our elevate section, fantasy receipts.
Come get us. Yeah, go on YouTube. You can find it. But I think the Patriots D is a good play.
At minute 56, you got to listen.
Yeah. I think it's a good play as well this week. You want to state your case for the Patriots D at all, or is it kind of we can see Matthew Judon wrap?
Well, I mean, here's the thing: defense, whatever scoring system you have, low point affairs are beneficial, and I just expect this to be a slug out, ground and pound style football game, a low scoring affair, and then meanwhile Patriots D, now perennially are continuing to showcase what they are. They have people at every position that play well, and so the Browns. I don't know who's going to win the game, to be honest with you. But I could see it being 17-14,
Right. Yeah, no, I like that call. All right, let's roll down to, I know I can do this. There you go. Mitigate. Oh, man. Matthew Stafford. It's not looking good for old Stafford. It's not at all. He is league leading. He's leading the league in interceptions. So he's got 7. Him and Matt Ryan are duking it out for worst QB of the year so far. Expectation wise, I think Stafford we had a lot more for Stafford, I think, than for Matt Ryan. You cannot play him right now. He is getting under siege every second. He's back there. He's getting sacked. The Dallas Cowboys, we knew their defense was going to be good. They crushed them last week. And what a great upset. Me and Bo picked it on the show. We talked about it. And, I said to play him as well. So Matthew Stafford, can you drop him? I mean, he might even be droppable for me now.
I mean, that's why it's a mitigate. The Panthers, on the better side dealing with QBs. And Matthew Stafford is basically right now, he's kind of mitigate to eviscerate kind of ballpark. So
trending to evisceration.
Yeah, he's trending towards eviscerate.
Yeah, he is for sure. It's not good. Let's talk about running backs here. Naji Harris. You drafted Naji Harris in the first round. Let's just be honest here. It's not great right now to tell you're telling me against the Bucs I'm just going to not play him. That kills me, honestly. It's hard to take. Do you think people will listen though, or no?
I mean, it probably is going to be a tough situation, but playing the Bucs, I just don't. Bucs are really good against the run, and then meanwhile, Jalen Warren is emerging too on that offense.
Yes, he is.
It was game script dependent, but of note, worth noting, the snap percentage was 51% in Jalen Warren's favor.
Wow.
So I mean,
that's
tough to put Naji on your bench, but I would say if you can, put him on your bench this week.
Yeah, I'd say also stack him right there next to Antonio Gibson. I like Antonio Gibson. There's nothing against him, but Brian Robinson is back now on the team, and you kind of saw, Brian Robinson had 9 carries. They trying to feed him the football. I like that. That's good. But then Gibson's in that weird no man's land where he had 3 rushing attempts. He got 4 targets, but then J.D. McKissick out-targeted him, and then Brian Robinson out-snapped him and or outran him, rush attempt-wise. So, that's not good. You're caught in the middle of you're not doing either one of those things more than anybody. You're doing both less than both other people. So I got a problem with Antonio Gibson kind of moving forward. I think he's mitigatable, and the only reason he would kind of be on your bench is if you're desperate, during a flex situation during bye week, and you just got to start somebody. So, what do you think about Gibson?
I mean, I think he fits into some of these are kind of for the going forward ideas, right? I think that's why he's being featured here. I mean, the matchup is good, right? The Bears, it's a good matchup, but
I don't know who's going to get the ball though.
Right. We don't know who's going to get the ball. And so
and they're throwing the football a lot more than they're rushing the football because they're losing.
I get the sentiment, and I benched him in, I think, the only league I have him in this past week. So
well said. Christian Kirk, talk to me about this situation here.
I think just the matchup isn't great versus the Colts. To me, this is flex to mitigate, flex to bench. He's on the cusp.
They only give up 25 points to wide receivers. They give up the least amount of points to wide receivers, the Colts.
Right. I mean, and that's primarily why I'm saying if you can pivot off of him this week.
Yeah, if you have other options, I know what you mean. It's not a juicy matchup. No, I like that. Tyler Conklin as well, kind of coming back down to earth, crashing down. They don't need him as much now. Now that
brutal,
they've got,
dude.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Brutal. Yeah, and playing the Packers this week. Is that right? Yes, the Jets play the Packers, and the Packers do really well against their top 5 against tight ends. So it's a bad matchup.
Yeah, they give up 7 points per game. That's Sorry, I
Mhm.
gagged on 7 points per game. And then, dude, I got to put this picture in here because, it's my boy Aaron Rodgers getting crushed by the Giants D the last throw of the game. It's so funny. Just like a little kid getting beat up by a bigger kid. You saw it. He's just like, I'm going to throw this ball downfield. And this big guy's like, I'm going to destroy this guy. And it was so perfect. You see him fall to the turf, getting crushed. I just loved it, man. It's football. It's exactly what it is. I mean, sometimes you want the ball to go. You want the ball to get released. Like, I think the goal is always like, get the ball downfield for the Hail Mary. Like, just get it up there. Let's see what happens. It's always fun. You saw what happened with Cobb before, but I love Aaron Rodgers thinking he was going to do it and then just getting walloped right as he was about to. He was all open and just like, I'm going to throw this. And they're like, nope, you are not. So, but this week, the Giants, they find themselves a little in a precarious situation. And yeah, I mean, I like the Giants so far. I'm not a big lover of them, but, man, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are just a different beast here. And so, I don't think I'd be starting the Giants against Lamar Jackson. I don't think I started any defense against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's it.
Simple as that. The Lamar Jackson rule. You've heard it here first.
That's right.
All right, let's get to Eviscerate because this is fun. I'll let you start with our boy Elijah Moore. What's going on there?
I mean, bro, sell low or just get rid of him, man. Find somebody else out there. Get Taysom Hill and dump Elijah Moore.
Yeah, get rid of him too. And then Chase Edmonds. Maybe I'm being a little rash here. Maybe he gets a little bit more.
I'll trade you Elijah Moore for Chase Edmonds.
Deal. Let's do it. We have.
Let's do it. Let's really do it. I'll trade you Elijah Moore for Chase Edmonds.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna actually do that now. Look at that. The first trade, and no one's gonna veto it because it's conspiracy. People think it's conspiracy or anything weird.
They're just gonna think it's weird.
They're gonna think it's weird. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, get rid of him. Get rid of Chase Edmonds. Get rid of Elijah Moore, or trade him to your co-host. Right. Either one.
Right.
Noah Brown. I'm sorry, Michael Gallup is back. So there's just
Michael Gallup is back. He's 7th round draft pick. He's been really good. I think he is really good, but Michael Gallup greater than sign Noah Brown.
Noah Brown's going back to the guy that you think is CeeDee Lamb, and then he turns out not to be, and you're like, shit. Oh, I thought that was
right. the 85 and 88 too. It's just all
and the dreads.
Yeah.
Like, just can one of you guys, go to 16 or 8 or some single digit, cool number 1 or something. I don't know, but whatever. So yeah. All right. I'm saying I'm not really mean to your guy, Darrell Henderson. You probably have him on your team, but I think I was telling you to eviscerate him. Here is a player eviscerating him in real life. It might have been one of the 49ers. But I think you should.
Where did you go? Sorry, I lost you.
Am I not here?
I think I did that. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm still here. I was like, your boy Darrell Henderson. I'm sorry, I'm dropping him like he's hot. You got any last words for
drop
him?
Cam Akers too, bro? Like
drop everybody on the Rams except Cooper Kupp, right? And Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, drop Allen Robinson. Drop Cam Akers. I thought Cam Akers was going to be the guy. I thought he was going to be the guy. No, he's not. He's just going to make it so Darrell Henderson's not the guy.
I'm with LQ, and I'm not for any of these people. He is a Rams insider, works for NFL Network. Love LQ. He was anti Cam Akers. He's just anti the Rams running backs. So I think that's the side we're on too. Pouring out for Greg Dortch. You Dortched your last Dortch. You got. Denny Carter had a funny I can't do any more Dortch jokes anymore.
The Dortch days of early
dog days of Dortch
are long gone. Yeah.
Dog days of Dortch are upon us now for our most beloved. You got Rondo Moore back. You also have our favorite sleeper secret guy we were trying to trade for a couple weeks ago, DeAndre Hopkins, coming back soon too. So get rid of him. And then the Steelers defense. Oh my goodness. We saw what Josh Allen.
Somebody was saying they think I forget. It was probably Stochastic. Somebody on Stochastic was saying they're the worst team in football, and I was like, I don't know if they're the worst team in football, but I'm starting to buy into that.
Yeah. Was it somebody who was like, oh,
No, it wasn't Alex Baker.
I was walking to the street and I found a penny.
I forget who said it. Well, I would have remembered if it was Alex Baker.
Yeah, get rid of him too. So, all right, we got DFS Stacks of Cash and then 3 treats, and we're outy here. I'm not going to lie to you. I glommed a little bit, but I had a different angle here. Let's talk about our diamond stack. This week, you finally got off Jalen Hurts. It's probably because they're on a bye.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, I was just like,
I'm kidding.
I'll tell you what. I wouldn't have got off this. To me, this is the premier diamond. It's so safe. Like
it's just they're the Sunday night game. That's why. So they're not in the main.
Right. Right. Yeah, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, man. I mean, you're just gonna hear it all season long. I mean, it's a diamond. I mean.
It was my number one stack last week for Sports Gambling Podcast Network. So I am.
It's expensive, but they're playing the Chiefs, so it like this is potentially the AFC Championship game that is happening, and that means the stars are going to shine. And Stephon Diggs, outside of Josh Allen, is our brightest star. The floor is so safe, dude. Like you can build this lineup and you can expect over 50 points easily.
I agree. And Diggs doesn't even have to go nuclear for that to happen. Just Josh Allen, just his base is so safe.
Right.
Yeah. Well, last week I didn't change my graphic, nothing. I'm being lazy as hell on this one, but Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, his price went down. Kirk Cousins' price went down like $300. So I think it was $5,200 last week now, or $15,200 last week. Now it's $14,900, and they're going against Miami. Like, you're getting more value on Kirk Cousins now, which okay, I'll keep it up there. And Justin Jefferson is the truth. They're going to give him 10 targets at least. It's just how it goes. They know you can't stop him. Like, they realize we are better throwing it to him, even against Marshawn Lattimore. It doesn't matter who you got there. We got somebody better than you. And they're figuring out how to get him in space too. So I'm all about that as my number one stack. But now let me tell you how I glommed. I love Josh Allen too. Last time we saw Gabe Davis go nuclear was against KC, right? He's a bigger guy. I'm not sure if they got any bigger corners right now, but I'll look it up on PFF later. But I like Gabe Davis. So he's cheaper, right? He's $6,500. He's not as expensive as Stephon Diggs, who's $8,400. So I got a discount. I got a $1,900 discount on that stack and it's part of my gold stack. So I did a little glomming.
I like it.
Stack, but it's out of reverence because I think Josh Allen is the truth, and I wanted to have a piece of him for sure. It was going to be my most expensive stack. I didn't realize that my Justin Jefferson was that expensive. I thought it was going to be like 14, 7 or 6 or something. So, but anyway, I got to steal a little bit of glom. So, talk about the Tampa Bay stack you've got, because you had
that's my stack from last week. Did you change the graphic? Because
I did.
Gold, stack it up again.
I got a new graphic for you. So.
The price is juicy, man. The price is juicy. I think Evans is 7 and Brady's 6,300, and they're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We just talked about them. Right. They're featured on my graphic because
here's my favorite thing. All I see in Tom Brady's eyes is no mercy. I think he wants to win the Super Bowl more than he ever has, and he wants to break people's faces open in the process. I don't expect them to they were my gold stack. It wasn't what I thought. I built probably 40 lineups around Brady last week, and
my best lineup had Brady and Evans in it. So whatever.
Right. It was good, but I don't know. Falcons continue to play people tough.
They play better. Yeah, they play better.
And Brady still had good numbers. This is going to be a juicy matchup for me.
For sure. Oh, this is something different. This is something special. And their defense is so good. They're going to give them. The only scary part is you don't want. Leonard Fournette probably is going to be one of the best plays. But anyway, let's talk silver stack, because we both went and dipped into the. It's just so cheap. Geno Smith is so cheap. It's $5,700. Like, why?
Tyler Lockett, 5,600 or something like that. Yeah.
Mine's a little more expensive. DK 68. But they both just have like ridiculous upside. And against the Cardinals, this is a divisional matchup, but I really, really like it. It's at home, I believe. Let me make sure before I punt this. I looked at the standings or the schedule before, but It is at home. Yes, it is in
Oh,
the
that's so
window.
juicy.
Oh, they're gonna be so crazy up there. They're gonna finally have a good team again. Hey, how about this?
So
Noah Fant was traded from the Broncos away from Russell Wilson, and he upgraded his quarterback situation.
Crazy.
Crazy, right? Yeah, got a better quarterback now. So you're all over this. And the price for Tyler Lockett, are they not watching the games? Like, he should be 6,300, 6,500 the next week, and then 6,800.
You know he's on pace for his greatest season ever right now. 1,300 yards. Like,
Glad Cakes dropped him in the crab cakes. You crapped him.
I got him.
Hey, Cakes won, by the way. Shout out Money Metal Cakes, one of our boys. He won the Chalk Block weekly tournament we do there. About
Bo, Jorge, and Cakes. Top three
Yeah.
finish. That was sexy, man. I loved it.
Man, we got all our boys up in there. Yeah, good job, Bo getting third. Good job, Jorge getting second, and Cakes got like 185. Man, what a great build. He's all downplaying it, saying it was luck. I DM'd him. We were talking DFSs today. But anyway, all right, let's go to 3 tweets. And I did, I was shouting my own self out. I'm going to start off, and this is from the Buffalo Bills.
Do you like to draw with?
Hold on. I'm not sure if you saw this. This is Mr. Rogers, and the Buffalo Bills tweeted this out after their win.
Do you like to draw with?
And it said, Pittsburgh, your friendly neighbor has a message. Bills Mafia, right? And he's going to be written down on the screen, so you can kind of read it as it goes, and we'll play. Here it is, Mr. Rogers. I think it's hilarious.
Do you like to draw with crayons? I do, but I'm not very good at it. Feels good to have made something.
If you're listening on the podcast, he just takes out a crayon in his little sweater. He draws an L, and he gets up
to have made something.
That's awesome.
And walks away. So it made me laugh. Kudos to the Bills, man.
I like it a lot. I don't know who's going to win because that's
rubbing it in the face of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's a really, really high quality tweet right there. My tweet, if anyone's listening to this work, this is not safe for work. NSFW. A lot of language coming up. This is hold on, pause it. This is my man Stavy Havros. He's a comic, and he's
from Baltimore.
Born and raised in Baltimore. This is a character that he does. It's a Baltimore guy, and he every week he reacts to what Baltimore did right after the game. So this is his reaction post game
to the Ravens
victory. The Ravens beating the Bengals. Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. So please, this is why we're rated M for mature.
Ha 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 ha. Justin Tucker, you can fuck my bitch, baby. Ravens, baby. Kings of the fucking AFC North. The Bengals fucking suck. Joe Burrow sucks. He's a fucking bust, yo. Last year was a fucking fluke. Your eyes are too blue, yo. White Walker looking motherfucker. Yo, Joe Burrow came to the game today dressed like a fucking lesbian attending her estranged father's funeral, yo. Shit, the only funeral you was attending was your own. Cause of death, Justin Tucker's fucking leg, bitch. John Harbaugh, brilliant football mind. Brilliant tactician.
Brilliant.
The game, look, it wasn't perfect, okay? Lamar missed a couple throws. Flacco would have hit him. But hey, let's not dwell on the negatives. Let's look at the fucking positives. The Ravens are going to win it all. Shit, I'm so happy I might even pay child support this month. You hear that, Tabitha? You ain't got to garnish my wages from AutoZone this month, bitch.
I think you went from AutoZone. Such a Maryland place. I just went to AutoZone, man. This guy definitely works there.
That's awesome.
I love this guy. He's really funny. You should definitely follow him
funny
on Instagram. I'd follow him on Instagram. So this is perfect. So as the winner, we're gonna go to this is Denny Carter, right?
Yeah, this is Denny's tweet is so perfect. It says someone needs to reprogram the robot with more appropriate post-game language. Okay, and this This is his tweet on. That's what he said about Russell Wilson's post-game interview, which was just literally exactly what he said. Like, it was the weirdest, most robotic thing. Here's Russell Wilson's post-game interview.
I'm gonna try to turn up the volume because it kind of like mumbles under his breath too. So here we go.
Thank you guys. Broncos country.
That's right.
Thank you guys.
That was
country.
That's right. He pushed us off the podium. That's right.
Thank you guys.
Let's see what happens. All right, Broncos country. That's right.
I wonder if he's being paid to say it. Why would he say that?
It is very weird. It's
like Denny said. It's like either he's being paid financially, or something ain't. Something wrong with that guy.
One thing I love about you
Broncos country, let's ride.
You just lost in overtime, bro, and you cost them the game with an interception.
And you're saying that cheesy slogan right there,
right? Yeah, I want to see a Westworld. I'm gonna go find some Westworld clips, and I'm just gonna put Russell Wilson's head on them.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's very Westworldy.
Very Westworldy.
The way he pushed off the podium.
Right, totally like he's like this West. This is Westworld right here.
Yeah.
How about this? I'm gonna do this. Copy, and then did you do copy video address? No, you can just tweet it out, right? Let me see. Copy link to tweet. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'm an idiot.
Do your tweet. I got to bounce. So
yeah, I do too. Love you guys. Please like and follow Mike. He's the Ralph Macho on Twitter. I'm Nimble W Numbers. Matthew Berry, you said my name right. So that's what we have. Mike, I'll let you kick everybody off with your shout out this week.
Oh yeah. Well, as always, war in week 6 and peace and love everywhere else.
Peace and love.